Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me in our course Defining Consciousness. And this class this evening, I wanted to talk with you about emotions and actually balancing our emotions. There will be always time in our life that we are high and feeling low. There will be time that we have challenges that really triggering different reactions and therefore emotions from us that may be sadness or depression or just feeling moody. And there are times that we have amazing and exciting events in our life that just like bring us joy and happiness and motivating us to sing, motivating us to share, motivating us to really do good. And when we speak about emotions, there are positive sides of emotion, as we said, and there are negative sides of to emotions, right? So sometimes we act or say things in our emotional state, things that I should not have said or done. And it's interesting, there is one lesson by Rav Brandwein, was the teacher of Rav Berg, and his lesson about emotions. Even though, he said, even though it's good to have emotional high, to have it, and certainly as they are involving our spiritual work, you know, when we are doing our spiritual sharing, it's to be happy with them and really feel good with these emotions. But Rav Brandwein told the Rav Berg, you have to be very careful not to be controlled by your emotions, but rather to control your emotion. So obviously when emotions are controlling us, we getting into a state of imbalance. And when we are controlling the emotions, which means we are in balance. And today we will understand with different study, and especially a study by Rav Ashlag, how we can get to reach to a point where we have a balanced emotions, balanced reactivity, balanced life. Okay, so just again, what we learned just from what we said right now, Rav Brandwein shared with Rav Berg, is that we have to be very careful not to be controlled by our emotion. It's very easy to say than do, but this is why we are here doing our spiritual work, because we're eager to know how we can create and have balance in every area in our life, right? Because just wanted to say, when we say balance, it's not all the time 50-50. Sometimes there is a balancing is giving love, sometimes balancing is receiving love, for example. So meaning if we can come to a point where we become happy only let's say during those time when we're excited, during the time that we are sharing and giving, and when we actually have control over our emotion, that is assisting us in our spiritual correction and assist us in our development, it's exciting. But when we are controlled by the emotions, when we only do things if it makes us happy, or when we do things only if we are excited about them, when the emotions controlling the action that we do, then they are not positive. Why? Because they are not under control, and they are not bringing us closer to the connection to the light of the Creator, and they are not bringing us closer to our fulfillment. And that is the key lesson. We need to control our emotions in a way that enables and assists us in our growth and our connection to the light of the Creator, and the light within us assist us in really connecting to our essence. We need to be very careful not to be controlled by our emotions, okay? How many times do we do things that beyond our comfort, that do not excite us at that moment? How many times? And we know that it's really a test. If our emotions are controlling us, so therefore our emotions controlling our growth, okay? It's very important for us to understand that. Let's talk a little bit about few emotions that we all know. I chose for this subject or conversation three of them. We're going to start with love. For example, love. So love we know as it's the one of the single most important emotion in the Kabbalistic teaching. As we learn, it's based on the sentence, the verse, the phrase, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, love your neighbor as yourself. As Rabbi Akiva and Rav Ashlag taught us, the base of our fulfillment depends on how much we are developing our internal love to other people. It is very important, though, to differentiate between two types of love. There is the ego love, there is the selfish love, and there is a true sharing love, which is connecting us to the light of the Creator, and therefore we connect to the blessings, to bring blessing into our life. So when we receive, in return to our love, we receive things, it's one level of love. If we desire or care to share with other people, love do not depending on anything. So the only way we achieve fulfillment is when we are constantly growing the love to other people. If the above is not really growing, if the love is not really growing, it doesn't matter really how many connections and prayers we do. It just shows us we are not growing. So remember Abraham the patriarch, at his time, he was the faucet of love to the world. He opened the channel of love to the world, and at his time it was so much easier to love one another. But in time, people used this love in a negative way, in a selfish way, and the Creator had to limit again that faucet of love. And what is our job, or what is our spiritual work in that regard? Each one of us has the ability to open or close the channel of love, and we have to understand it's really up to us. If we'll go to the next emotion that I've chose for today, fear. Fear is something that unfortunately, it's something that common lately. Fear or worry from the future, what will take place, what will happen financially, what will happen with me, and etc. You know, in the Zohar, in the portion of Noach, in verse 252, 253, 254, it is mentioned there about Noach. In time of Noach, there was the flood, and only him and his family members, and obviously some animals were in this ark, survived that flood. And it says in verse 252, it says there, "Umorachem v'chatatchem hiye," which means מכאן והלאה יהיה לכם צורות בני אדם שמהן יראים חיות השדה, which means you will be feared by animals. It talks about you will be feared by the physical reality because you will have the image of man. If a person does negative action, their image of God, or the spiritual shield as it's called, Tselem Elokim, Yehares, will be destroyed, which means the protection shield surrounding their body was diminished. What he talks here, it says here, because every person, כל אלו בני אדם שלא חטאו לפני ריבונם, all those people who really did the spiritual work and worked on themselves and overcome the challenges and kept in the path of connecting to the light of the Creator, זיו צורתם אינו משתנה. Like the light that is projected from them, which means the Tselem Elokim, the shield, protection, the image of the Creator, that is the shield that's protecting them, is not changing. But when people are like acting with negative action, their protection shield is diminished, and what cause it's really then people start to have fear. They're afraid of animals, and they're afraid of the reality, the physical reality. This is the first time that fear was mentioned in the Bible, in the story, in time of Noah. It's like what it means is like the Kabbalists are teaching us that each one of us born with Tselem Elokim, with the protection shield, and it's really up to us by acting positive with sharing and connecting to the light, or acting negative and disconnecting from the light, that it's affecting the protection shield that each one of us has. So this is like how fear being presented in our life due to our negative actions. Protection shield is changing, and we start to fear of reality. If we talk about another emotion, it's like regrets. You know, when we talk about regret, many of us have done so many things in our life that we may feel, if we look back on the things that we have done, we may feel sad, or we feel like regrets. But the main thing that we need to know is that we can always change it to a positive, and to use that emotion into growth. So we need to ask how we can change regrets, how we can bring it into a positive way into our life, is by asking questions. Why the situation came into my life? Where is it coming from? What is that I have done, and how can I take responsibility on my action? And then we changing it and bringing it into positive. Therefore, we changing this emotion of regret into a positive one, that we learn more about ourselves, taking more responsibility and changing that. So this is like just basic 3 emotions, for example, that we can see both sides to it, negative and positive, how we react to each one, how we behave in each direction, in each area, in each side of the coin of love and regrets and fear, and how we can bring into balance into our life. But I have like some interesting things like with astrology, and we can see, I wanted to show you in my slide, in the next slide, about what triggers us when we are in balance, what the reactions that we have. And I wanted to go over with you. Remember, all of us, basically there are 4 elements, right? We have fire, water, earth, and air. So if we are fire sign, for example, so if you have balance, emotional balance in your life, so obviously how it will be interpreted in reality, you will have a lot of drive, their movement, their desire and excitement. If you're fire, right? If you're water and you're balanced in your emotion, so therefore you will behave in more mercy, you will go with the flow, like water, going with the flow, you will have more compassion, you will be more of a sharing. If you're earth sign and you're balanced emotionally, so how will you behave? You'll be very grounded and practical, right? When air, if they are balanced, its ability to go above the materialistic. When the material is not controlling you, when you balance, you're more creative if you're air sign, and you're quick thinker. But what happens when we are imbalance with our emotion, when we are out of balance? So we can see that when we are out of balance, fire, for example, will behave with ego, with pride, with anger, attachment to things, right? We can see it in the next slide. We can, if you are water, when you're out of balance, how it will be, how you will present it itself: over emotional, over giving, no boundaries, form of addiction and dependency. If you're a water sign, if you're earth sign and you're out of balance, how it will be represented in your life: it's stubbornness, it's maybe laziness, sadness, lack of appreciation of what we already have. If you're earth sign, when you're out of balance, how it will show: when you're overthinking, you talking too much. Okay, talking too much is like complaining and complaining and not really doing enough, and judgmental and gossiping. Because air, it's about the words that coming out of our mouth, how it's being presented. So when we are out of balance, this is how those 4 elements presented in our life. I also have something very unique for you. If we'll talk about per sign, what trigger each sign to be imbalanced? Because when we talk about imbalance, it's a form of a feeling lack, feeling that something is missing, feeling that there's no light in my life, that feeling the darkness, the light of the Creator is not present in my life. Therefore, it's triggering me to have an emotional imbalance. So if we'll start with the first sign, Aries, when he feels that he's not accepted by others, he's thinking about himself, he's not accepted by others, it may be a trigger. It's a trigger of how this emotion comes up, how this imbalance shows up in his life. Okay, it's just like an example, like how his ego comes up, the anger because I'm not accepted. When we talk about Taurus, when they feel lack of comfortability and lack of stability, when the earth is shaking under their ground, they chasing after comfortability, right? And they running away from change. So when they feel unstable, it's triggering, it's pushing a button to react as Taurus is an earth sign, if you remember earlier. So the stubbornness coming up and maybe the laziness and the sadness will come up. When in Gemini, they're impatient and boredom can really trigger emotional imbalance. As we know, Gemini, they're easy to quit and they're always looking for the next thing to deal with. So, but when they're impatient and boredom can really trigger the reaction of judgmental and gossiping and complaining. If we move to Cancer, the fear of getting hurt and the fear of abandonment. Okay, they're vulnerable. When they're vulnerable to pain and they're afraid of getting hurt. So if someone is like hurting them, or according to the way they feel, or they feel that someone abandoned them, automatically it's trigger the emotion or the imbalance emotions that we saw earlier, that it's like really being over emotional and there are no boundaries and really dependency. If we'll move to Leo has a fear that he will not be counted as so important and as likable. So when he sees that maybe he's not likable, again, is a fire sign, the anger again coming up, or attachment coming up. And of course, what I'm sharing with you right now, it's a general, and each one of us can relate to it or can see how in my life, when this triggering of this lack is showing up in my life, how am I behaving with emotional imbalance, I'm sorry. Libra, when they don't feel that they're valuable, that they're feeling that they're not valuable, so therefore what they do, they're pleasing other people more, even like more than what they have done. Scorpions, for example, what is their fear when there is lack, when they feel that they're in darkness? Their fear is not to be loved. And therefore, if they're not loved, again, it's bringing us like water sign that I've mentioned earlier. It's over emotional and sometimes over giving, because I want to feel love. I'm not feeling love. So please give me attention. Sagittarius, when they're feeling imbalance, or what trigger the imbalance, is the fear of being trapped, that they have no freedom. So again, fire sign, it's coming up. Capricorn, when they have the need to feel respected and valuable. So if they don't feel that, because they chasing after external result, if they don't feel it, automatically it's trigger the imbalance, emotional imbalance. Aquarius is the fear of adding value to people's life, adding value to, because they always want to be, they have the ego of being original and different. So if they see that they don't add in any value, again, trigger a certain behavior, certain emotional, imbalance emotion. And the last in the sign is Pisces. Pisces, unfortunately, is the feeling of feeling zero, I would say, feeling that they don't believe in themselves. It trigger, if I don't believe in myself, therefore people do not believe in me, I'm not worth it, automatically brings emotional, imbalance emotion like laziness and depression and so forth. So this is when we feel really the lack. If we can go back to the slide, and we can show you, if you can click Momo and show them what happened. Yeah, this is like for you, all of you, to see that when we out of balance, how it appears in our life. It's as you see that, I wanted to remind ourselves that the knowledge of Kabbalah is basically based on the 3-column system: the left, the right, and the central. The right column is mercy, chesed. The left column is gvura, which is judgment. And the central column is tiferet, which is the balance. In life, we want to join the right and the left, to connect them together, to create a balance in every area in our life. For example, let's see like example from the stories of the Bible. So there are the Kohanim, the high priest, right? And the high priest are the channel of mercy and healing and purification, and they represent the right column. The Levites, they represent the left column. In each one of us, we have a Kohen, the high priest, and we have the Levi. In each one of us, we have the right column and the left column. And lack of balance in our life is basically the lack of balance between the right and the left column. Okay? In the portion of Korach, it's really talk in length, especially in verses 3 to 6 in the Zohar. It is mentioned that Vaikach Korach, and there's a whole discussion what Korach took, why he took, what did he took. The Zohar explained that basically Korach lost the balance. Korach is he's come from the left column. He belongs to the Levi's tribe, and Korach believed that this is his time, to receive the priesthood, and that it belonged to him and he needs to control. Now it's his time to be the leader instead of Moses. When we are getting angry, for example, we don't understand what's going on, what is wrong, what is happening, why these things are happening, and we're completely losing our balance, right? So what's trigger to lose that balance? And as it's mentioned in verse 4, in the portion of Korach in the Zohar, that Korach was so busy with himself that he asked something that really doesn't belong to him. He lost completely the balance. asking, like maybe we ask, is it my place? Maybe it's my place. Maybe I deserve this. Maybe I deserve this attention, or I deserve this position. Maybe I deserve this calling. Maybe is this my calling? It's probably what I need to do. When a person is really not connecting to the light of the Creator, or the light within him, he will always see that this is mine, this is my gift, this is my calling. It's like me, me, me. When a person is in balance, when he has a balance in his life, he will look at the gift that he has in his life and he said, oh, this is my gift, and I want to share it with other people. I want to share the knowledge, I want to share the music, I want to share my love. There are areas that I know that I'm not good enough, but I'm aware of it, and it's okay. So this is where I'm in balance. So to chase after something or desire something is like basically to express your gifts and talent, to give it like a form of a shape. So how do I know if I'm chasing after something or after things that do not belong to me? What belongs to me and what is not? Okay? If we say, oh, think big, what does it mean Kabbalistically to think big? Which means, if I'm thinking big, is with no limitation. I want to express my potential with no limitation. So Korach wanted, basically, when it's mentioned, he wanted to switch between the left column and the right column. He wanted to switch them. What does it mean? The right column, what represent? The right column represent the love, the mercy, as we said, the sharing, the certainty. The left column represent the receiving, the desire, energy of details, of limitations, structure, lack of perfection, but in a positive way. There's a lack of protection and I'm aware of it and I love it. So right column, desire to receive in order to share, right? So Rav Ashlag shared an amazing lesson about the right and the left column and how we can create balance between them. In the spiritual world, the Rav Ashlag said, we all ask to reach balance. Sometimes the right column will control, sometimes the left column control. Both are spiritual and there's no one better than the other. When you are connected to the right column, you are connected to the understanding of certainty that all is good, okay? And everything that caused you pain or hurt you, we're looking at it as in a bigger picture, and we understand that everything is from the light, and everything that is there is here to support me and assist me in my growth and bring me joy to my life. This is when we are connected to the right column. The right column also is the time when you are humble and you're feeling complete with who you are. You love yourself, and even you love the imperfection within you, and it's okay, and you accept your soul and you believe in yourself. And left column, Rav Ashlag said, then when we're in the left column, connecting to the left column, you must believe in cause and effect. Left column is cause and effect. There are times we experience in something bad maybe, and we do not say, oh, it's for the best, but rather we trying to figure it out, cause and effect. What caused it to happen to me? Maybe I brought it to myself. I'm taking responsibility and understanding why it came into my life, and I'm recognizing the evil within. As Rav Ashlag said, it's called chush hakarat hara. And understanding that even if I put myself in the mud, I can get myself out of the mud. So energy of self-judgment, spiritual control, spiritual work that connects to the left column. It says, Rav Ashlag, im en ani li mili, which means it's only me. that Imena Nili Mili connects to the left column. Which means there are times that I need to be awakened, and it's only the light. It's not only the light that will help me. I need also to make actions and take responsibility. So this is left column. But Rav Ashlag is saying also, אבל צריך להיות גיבור חיל ולדייק את הזמנים. Which means sometimes there are times that we said that all for the best, and sometimes there are times that we ask ourselves, what is that I need to change within me? Okay? How do you know when is it time to behave as a right column or connect to the right column, and when is the time to connect to the left column? When to look at the bigger picture, and when is the time to look at the cause and ask myself what I need to change? Most people, Rav Ashlag said, for them, most people is random. Things happen random. Sometimes I'm in appreciation to the light and to the life, and sometimes I see what's missing in my life, right? So this thing being random like that, Rav Ashlag is saying that it causes to lose the balance in our life. And we need to make conscious decision. Conscious decisions, which means is now in the spiritual work of right column, or now I'm in the spiritual work of left column. 95% of the day, Rav Ashlag said, that is to be in the right column, consciousness. But every day, allow yourself to have 5% of the time in left column consciousness. What is that I need to change? What action do I need to take? This is the only way to create light, a space to draw light into my life when I'm in circuitry. If the energy comes in random, sometimes to see what is wrong with me, with people, and criticizing friends because he's annoying me, and he's not with consciousness, and this is not with consciousness, this is not with love. To be conscious in your choice that now I'm in the left column and now I'm in the right column. Even to just to be in left column, I need to make a choice. What does it mean as far as reacting? What does it mean for us practically? For example, when we react, reactivity is left column. Did I choose it? No, but I reacted to it. And who is in control when I'm in reactivity? The left column is, right? So this is why it says in verse 3 in Korach that Korach wanted to the left column to control. When we are in the middle of making a choice, by the way, we are in right column control. So let's understand more what does it mean for us practically, because when we are not conscious and you're choosing, left column is controlling, and because and it causes us to be imbalance and blindness. Okay, so practically in our life, it says that, for example, let's start the day taking 3 hours of the day connecting to the right column, and 10 minutes of the day, maybe before we go to sleep, we'll connect to the left column. Which means if we choose in conscious choice that we are right now connecting to the right column, which means for 3 hours of the beginning of the day, we're doing things that makes us happy. Whatever will support us to rise into the right column, consciousness. Do not ask and do not dwell what is wrong with me, what happened, why. We're not asking those questions. In the 3 hours when we are making this conscious choice, connecting to right column, we literally doing things that will make us happy. Okay, conscious choice. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you make this conscious choice. Maybe praying or meditating in the morning. Maybe those are the tools for you to connect to mercy or to the right column. Even if you start the morning by just jumping out of the bed, even if it's fake it till you make it. But let's say for those 3 hours, you're making everything that make you acting and you connecting to different things that will bring you happiness, bring you mercy, bring you feeling that you are in the right column, that you're loving and you're sharing, and it lifts you up to connect to right column. You know, there are two brothers, the first two brothers that mentioned in the Bible, which are Hevel and Cain. Hevel and Cain. So the two brothers representing for us two sides of emotional behavior, if I may say, right? So sometimes in our life, imbalance appear when we are too pleasers, or there's no limitation, and I'm hurt by people because I'm too nice. When we are behaving like this, which is, we said, like what right column is like giving and sharing, but when I'm too right column, when I'm too Hevel represent the right column, when I'm like giving with no limitation, when I'm and due to that I'm hurt by people because I'm too nice, the left column start to control. Cain controlling, it causes us not to be connected to our essence. Okay, so we need to be also aware of like not to overdo things, obviously, because we want to take responsibility and understand who we are. When it talks about Hevel, again, it's like letting go, but it's too much of letting go. Let them win. I don't want to fight. Nothing is bothering me. When we behave like this, so sooner or later, the left column or the Cain energy within you will come out, and this will create also imbalanced energy that will compensate somehow. Cain, for example, which connect to the left column, is controlling, over-worrying, not enough mercy. When we behave like this, we need both energies in our life, as we understood already, the left column and the right column, but we need to create balance within them. So try to see in your life, when are you behaving more of like Hevel, and when are you behaving more of like Cain? When are you behaving more of like no limitation, go with the flow, yeah, no problem, pleaser? Or when we are Cain, that represent the over-worrying and controlling and not too much of mercy. So when we are like that, we're already aware of where we have imbalance in our life, okay? I want to give you more practical tools. You know, sometimes, it's not sometimes, most of us have goals in our life, and we set goals whether in business or personal goals in our spiritual work, goals in every area in our life, maybe to create family and how many kids we want to have, how much money we want to have in the bank, what will happen when I'll reach 65, what will happen, how much, what's the position or the respect or the status I want to have when I'll reach this particular certain age, etc. We all have goals, and they're all fine and they're amazing. As we have goals and we have the purposes that we put for ourselves and we write it down, sometimes we feel that we failed, we didn't succeed with what we put to ourselves. So I wanted to talk about failure, for example, as an example, that failure causes us to be in an emotional stress, causes us to be feeling imbalance, as this is the topic of this class. And I wanted to give you practical steps how to approach failure, how to get over that feeling of failure. It's very important. There are a few stages, and I hope that you will apply those stages into any area in your life that you feel emotionally stressed. Okay, so we talk about failure, we have goals, we have let's say we have a goal in business that we wanted to achieve, and normally failures, they are hurt. In the 1%, they are very painful, but the first thing that we want to do, and to remember that when we fail over and over again, or when we react to failure in a way that hurts our safety and hurts and cause us to have low self-esteem, and sometimes also our overreacting to failure cause us the chance to really a future success. So the first thing that we want to do is to, if I'm talking about conscious choice, is to connect to an environment that will support you in order to connect you back into reality, which mean back into right column, which mean a supporting system like a family, close friends, supporting you by shining this light, sharing with you their light, and showing you actually what the value of who you are. Remember your best qualities and how and showing you that, okay, showing you that maybe it's okay, you tried, it's amazing, but giving you motivation not to stop. We all need this supporting system that it really brings us, put us in a fast road to really go through the overcoming any failure, okay? And very important, the next stage, or while we have in the supporting system, is writing. I'm always using the writing exercise, because writing is taking all our emotion out of our system. When we write it down, we take in all the lack of forgiveness, the anger, whatever, the sadness, the hurt. When we expressing it by writing it as a writing exercise, it really will help us to identify what kind of value, what are the values, what are the good things actually that came through the experience I've been going through. Because failure is really an amazing and excellent teacher. If we talk about, for example, Thomas Edison, that before he invented the light bulb, he failed so much, but he said that I haven't failed even once. I just learned 10,000 ways that do not work. Okay, so we need to see, as we're writing down all of the experience that we went through and the emotion that comes from it, we will start to see how this experience that I've been going through is actually was a wonderful teacher for myself, and allowing me even new opportunities. Someone, for example, that wanted to open a store that sells shoes, and he couldn't make it happen. He tried, he learned how to connect with inventory, how you sell items, how you open a store, how you do it with taxes, how you connect to how you do it physically, how you write in a business plan, and it didn't work out. You know what the next opportunity, or the great opportunity that can come out of it? It says, I'm bad in selling shoes, but I'm very good in selling flowers. So every experience that has been failure taste to it just brings a new opportunities. So as we're writing down, also connecting to the mercy with, it's a creating balance between the right column and the left column. We bring in mercy by supporting system. We bring in the light column into us, and by writing, we connect to the left column. What is that I've learned, and how can I proceed? how can I learn to do something else or connect to the new opportunities that coming up? Because every failure is a success at the end of the day. We don't see it when we are in that. So it's very important to write down the things. And the following stage is to connect only with the things I can control. Things that are beyond me, that I cannot control, it will not help me to get an emotional balance. From the beginning, just choose things that you can control, that you can initiate, that you can manifest, that you can make it happen. Okay? But how we can get into control is by really writing down the goal in details. For example, if I'm saying to myself, I must lose weight, I need to have a diet. Obviously, I can say it, and I've been saying it for 6 months, and nothing happened. Why? Because when we have a goal, we need to be very, very specific. I want to eat healthier because it's really supporting my life, and it supports my body, and I wanted to lose 10 pounds, and this is how I'm going to do it, and this is why. Okay? So if you want to open a business, or if you want to have family and kids, yeah, I want, when I'll be 35, I want to have family and 3 kids. Okay, why? Why? And the ways to get there, even to have family, like what is that I need to work on to bring it into my life? Which means when we have goals in our life, we need to be very specific and goals that are reachable. We may write down that my goal in life is to be an actor, but it's not a goal that reachable for me, because it's not my purpose, okay, or it's not connecting to my path where I can shine my light. Which means just to be very, very specific and realistic. Even if you say to yourself, I want to be an author and I want to have a bestseller, no problem. Write down what the book is about. If I have a story to share, do I have a story to share? What is that I wanted to share about? To the details, okay? So really, it's like we have to really remember that we wanted to have also, when we have a goal, what are the immediate mini goals to reach that? Okay, the mini goals. So we have a vision, we have a long-term vision, we have a middle-term vision, and we have a short-term vision to reach the goal. Therefore, I'm eliminating the feeling of failure and all those emotional imbalance that are rising up because of that. So basically, what I've shared with you now is just ways of preventing by having a conscious decision. And I just want to remind ourselves in our next slide, really to remember, what does it mean practically in our life. Let's take, for example, again, 3 hours a day to connect to the right column, to make connect to things that makes you happy, whatever will support you to rise you to the right column. And only 10 minutes a day, maybe before you sleep, to connect to the left column. Why is it in my movie? How can I take responsibility? What is that I need to change within myself? Which means the digging within me should be only 5% of the day, okay, according to Rav Ashlag. So remember that. We want to create conscious choice to choose what is a left column and what is the right column. And I want to give you another tool. I wanted to do with you a short meditation that will allow ourselves to really connect to the right column, the left column, with using these two combinations of the 72 name. Okay, I chose this because they're really supporting us in circuitry and supporting us with balance. Mem He Shin, most of you are familiar with Mem He Shin when it's come to healing. But Mem He Shin also is combination that connects us to balance. The three letters Mem, He, and Shin, right column, left column, and Shin, the letter Shin is the central column. Shin is the central column. And when it's being put together, right, left, and column, and central, it's actually the name of Moshe, Moses, that brings into balance of right and left column. There's time to look at the bigger picture, there's time to look at myself, and he was the expert in that. Kav Vav Kuf, this combination, some people will refer to it, as we're reading also in the book, to connect us to a higher sexual energy, but really Kav Vav Kuf is talking about the circuitry. How much I'm giving, this is what I'm receiving. I'm sharing, I'm connecting, I'm sharing my light, I'm receiving light. And it's really about another form of circuitry. So these two combinations, we have 3 angels on each one, that 6 angels total, that really supporting us in connecting more into right column, left column, and have a conscious decision to create the circuitry. So sit back and relax in your chair, wherever you're at home, and I'll just do a very short meditation that will support us, and you can use this meditation to help you to have balanced emotion. Okay, so connect to your body. Let's breathe. Deep breathing. Let's do like 5 deep breathing. Inhale and exhale. And as you inhale and exhale, you scan your body, and this way you command your body to release pressure. When we have emotional balance, we feel the pressure like really as headache, and we have pressure in our shoulder. So we want to release this pressure right now. And as you release this pressure, you breathe deep. And every time you breathe, you are allowing the light to enter your body. And when we breathe, we exhale in, we breathe in the light in. And allowing it to really go through all the organs in our body, from the head to toe. And we exhale in the light by sharing this light with others. Release the pressure. Continue breathing. And as you breathe, my suggestion to you as you breathe, when to release pressure, is to hold the breath. You can count even maybe to 10, hold it. And release, exhale. When you breathe, is a form of creating circuitry. Let's imagine ourselves in a very peaceful place, maybe place in nature. You can feel and see the beauty around you. You feel relaxed. You relax internally and you relax externally. Don't forget to breathe. In this state of perfection, of right column energy, love, appreciation, security, imagine your day tomorrow. Imagine the first 3 hours of your day tomorrow. There's acceptance, there's appreciation, there's happiness, there's joy. And everything that will come to you is blessings from the light of the Creator. Allow yourself to see the beginning of the day starts beautifully. Allow yourself to start the day with no judgment and no self-criticism, only with right column energy. See yourself waking up in the morning exactly like that. And now, allow yourself to see in the middle of the day that you transform the energy from being too much of Hevel, right, to Cain, or from too much of Cain to Hevel, by making a conscious choice. You are experiencing now a balanced energy and circuitry. We all have both energy within us, right column energy and left column energy. And with a conscious choice, we will learn to choose to use them in the right time. Mem He Shin Kav Vav Kuf. Let's breathe deep. Breathe and hold your breath. Exhale. Let the breathe and wake up, and let's bring this energy of harmony and balance into our life. I wish each one of us to start our day with the right column energy, happiness, and thus we create a balanced emotion and less stress, and we'll take out the emotional pressure out of our life and reconnect back to the light of the Creator. Every time we disconnect, we'll find a way to connect back. We want to grow with humility every day. And another tip for all of us, which I think is the most important, sharing is the medicine for all of our darkness. So whether we excited to share, whether we don't feel like sharing, sharing always will bring us into balance, emotion between the right and the left. This is the power of the Sphira, of the realm of Tiferet, which is the central column. So I wish all of us to have a wonderful rest of the day and connecting to the right column energy first thing tomorrow morning. Good evening. Bye.